Nick Saban isn't just one of the greatest college football coaches of all time. He might be the most influential figure the sport's ever seen. Championships, of course he got that. Dominance, duh. But the part that doesn't get enough love is coaching tree. This man didn't just raise coaches, he built empires. And in this video, we're taking a tour through the tree. Not everyone who came up under Saban, but most of the ones who made noise. From national titles to epic collapses, chaotic offenses to old school defense. This is what happens when you drink the Saban Kool-Aid. But before we get deep into our tree, man, let's give a shout out to a few other Saban disciples. Got Will Muschamp, Jeremy Pruitt, Mark D'Antonio, Mike Loxley, Bo Davis, Brian Dable, and Charles Huff, just to name a few. And before we get into our list, man, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more college football content, and let's do it. Now, if Nick Saban is Darth Vader, Kirby Smart is Kylo Ren, but with actual success. If Nick Saban coaching tree is a forest, Kirby Smart is the redwood standing in the middle, casting a shadow over everyone else. He didn't just branch off from the process. He hijacked it, rebranded it, and built it into his own empire. If there's one guy who straight up took the Saban blueprint and perfected it, it's Kirby Smart. No drama, no chaos, just dominance. Kirby's been with Saban longer than almost anybody. He was the DC at Alabama from 2008 to 2015. That's the meat of the dynasty. During that stretch, Bama turned into a defensive Death Star. National titles in 09, 11, 12, and 15. Multiple top 5 defenses. And Kirby was the guy pulling strings on that side of the ball. In 2016, he finally gets his shot as the head coach at Georgia, and right out the gate, you could tell he was serious about turning the Bulldogs into a powerhouse. Year 2, he's already in a national title game, and inches away from winning it. If not for Tua's miracle throw in overtime, he's holding that trophy. That 2017, loaded. That was the warning shot. But Kirby didn't flinch, he doubled down. He built a roster that looked exactly like Alabama's. Massive, mean, NFL ready. Elite defense, physical run game, 5 stars on deck. Fast forward to 2021, boom. Georgia finally breaks through. That defense, one of the best we've seen in the modern era. They get their revenge on Bama and win their first natty since 1980. No flukes, no gimmicks, just domination. And then they run it back in 2022. Stetson Bennett goes from walk-on to back-to-back national champion. That's a Disney movie. Georgia becomes the new Death Star, and Kirby, he's officially the heir to the throne. Not the assistant who tried to copy Saban, the one who maybe surpasses him. Even in 2023, with the younger squad and everybody gunning for them, they still went 12-1, just barely missed the playoff. But let's be real, that was a championship level team. And this past year, the Dogs won another SEC title and had a shot in the playoffs but fell short. But if you've seen their recruiting, they're not slowing down at all. Kirby doesn't do press conference one-liners. He's not trying to be the next social media star. He's building a dynasty the old school way. Development, physicality, ruthless consistency. At this point, he's not just Saban's best protege. He's the one who broke the master's code, and he might have rewritten it. Now, Jimbo Fisher is the cautionary tale of the Saban tree. Like on paper, he was supposed to be that guy. National champion? Check. SEC roots? Check. Recruits loved him. Boosters loved him. At one point, ESPN probably thought he'd be next up to build a dynasty. But somewhere along the way, the vision collapsed under the weight of expectations and an absolutely insane paycheck. Let's rewind. Jimbo was Saban's OC at LSU during that 2003 national title run, and from there, his stock skyrocketed. He takes over at Florida State in the late 2000s, and early on, dude had the juice. He brought FSU all the way back. Their 2013 team with Jameis Winston, certified juggernaut, undefeated, won a natty, and for a minute, Jimbo looked like the heir to the throne. But success has a funny way of revealing cracks. By the mid-2010s, things got weird. Culture issues, poor staff hires, and that program started sliding. He was feuding with administrators, the vibes were off, and by the time Texas A&M came calling with that fully guaranteed $75 million deal in 2017, Jimbo was ready to bounce. And who could blame him? That contract broke records. At the time, it felt like a power move for both sides. But here's the thing, A&M never got what they paid for. Sure, he pulled in top 5 recruiting classes like it was nothing. He beat Bama in 2021, first assistant to ever do it, which was a moment. But aside from that, 0 10-win seasons, no playoff appearances, offense is stuck in a stone age. He kept calling plays like it was 2014 while the rest of the sport evolved around him. And all that talent, mostly wasted. Eventually, A&M had to cut bait, and when they did, it cost them over $75 million to fire him. The single most expensive buyout in college football history. Like, that's not a coaching record, that's a financial scandal. Jimbo had the Saban DNA, no doubt. He even showed flashes of brilliance, but the game changed, and Jimbo didn't. He stayed loyal to an outdated system, doubled down on ego, and got left behind in a sport that doesn't wait for anyone. Legacy? Depends on who you ask, but right now, it feels less like Hall of Fame head coach and more like Netflix documentary waiting to drop. You want to talk about the wildest ride on the Saban coaching tree? It's Lane Kiffin. That man's had more second chances than a GTA mission, and somehow he's still trending upward. It all started back in December 2013. Kiffin rolls into Tuscaloosa to consult on Bama's offense for a week. 8 days later, boom, he's the new offensive coordinator. This is the same Lane Kiffin who just got fired midseason by USC and was basically college football's biggest meme. But Saban saw something. Maybe it was desperation. Maybe it was genius. Honestly, probably both. And to his credit, Kiffin cooked. He modernized Bama's offense with tempo, RPOs, and real spread concepts. For once, the Tide were winning shootouts, not just arm wrestling folks in the trenches. In 2014, he was a Burroughs Award finalist, and Alabama's offense started to look like a cheat code. But Lane's gonna lane. Right before the 2017 national title game, Saban had enough of the distractions. Kiffin had already accepted the FAU head coaching job, but was still around for the playoff run. And after a clunky semifinal game, Saban booted him, replaced by Steve Sarkeesian literally a week before the Natty. That's how chaotic it got. So off to Florida Atlantic he goes, and here's where the story shifts, because at FAU, Lane actually locked in. After starting 1-3 in 2017, he ripped off 10 straight wins, won the CUSA title, and smoked Akron in the Boca Raton Bowl. 11 wins. First time FAU had done that ever, and they signed him to a 10-year deal on the spot. Dude went from coaching castaway to king of South Florida real quick. He won another Conference USA title in 2019, and suddenly, Lane's name was hot again. Not scandal hot, coaching hot. Enter Ole Miss. He takes the job in December of 2019 and immediately starts building something different in Oxford. Not just vibes, results. In year one, they're scoring 40 plus a game and win the Outback Bowl. In 2021, they go 10-2 in the regular season. The first time ever that Ole Miss hit double-digit wins before bowl season. Let that sink in. Johnny Vaught never even did that. 22 was a little shakier, 8-5, but in 2023, he got him right back on track. 11 wins, Peach Bowl champs, and Jackson Dart becomes the most winningest quarterback in school history. Now, this past year, they pull off a massive upset over number 2 Georgia, finish 10-3, and drop 52 in the Gator Bowl, but they do miss the playoffs. At this point, it's not about being flashy. Lane's got stability. He's still trolling people on Twitter, still got that cocky swagger, but he's also grown. He's become a legit program builder. Lane Kiffin might have entered the Saban tree as a rehab project, but now, he's running his own orchard in Oxford, and it's blooming. Sark's journey, man, it's been a wild ride. From Saban's rehab program to the head coach of Texas, this man's been through it all. Scandals, setbacks, and straight up redemption. After flaming out at USC in messy fashion, Sark popped out at Alabama in 2016 as an analyst, quietly working his way back into the game. When Lane Kiffin dipped before the national title, Sark stepped in as OC for one game, and it ended in a heartbreaker to Clemson, and just like that, he was off to the NFL. He landed the Falcons OC gig in 2017, taking over a top-tier offense from Kyle Shanahan, but it never really clicked. After 2 up-and-down seasons, he got let go. So what did he do? He went right back to Bama, humbled but hungry. From 2019 to 2020, Sark turned that Tide offense into a straight-up cheat code. Tua, Mac Jones, Devontae Smith, dudes were eating every Saturday. He won the Burroughs Award as the best assistant, ran the table in 2020, and by the time Saban hoisted another trophy, Texas came calling. Since 2021, Sark's been building the Longhorns in his image. The first year was bumpy, 5-7 with a 6-game losing streak, but you could see the vision. By 2022, they were thumping Oklahoma 49-0, nearly taking down Bama and putting up big-time numbers. Then in 23, everything clicked. They beat Bama in Tuscaloosa, won the Big 12, and made the college football playoff, finished top 3 in the country. Now after his 4th season with the Longhorns, Sark is 38-17 with 2 college football playoff semifinal appearances in back-to-back years. Sark's got Texas believing again. The recruiting is elite, the offense is explosive, and with the SEC move, he's already got that blueprint drawn up. Sarkeesian's glow up is one of the best in the game. He's proof that second chances matter, and right now, he's making everyone count. Now, Mario Cristobal is one of the most confusing branches on the Saban tree. On paper, built like a head coach, former Miami Hurricane, national champion as a player, trenches guy, elite recruiter, and yes, another one who spent time under Saban. He was Alabama's O-line coach from 2013 to 2016, right in the middle of that Bama machine run. He learned how to build, how to grind, how to win in margins. But here's the problem. Mario can build a program. He just can't run one. After Bama, he bounced to Oregon, and when Willie Taggart dipped for FSU, Cristobal took over. For a minute, it worked. Oregon got tougher, meaner in the trenches, and the talent level went up. He won the Pac-12 twice, smacked Utah in the 2019 title game, and even knocked off Ohio State in Columbus in 21. But the play calling, mid. The offense, still. Player development, hit or miss. Cristobal's teams always felt like they had the ingredients, but never the recipe. And when Miami came calling with that hometown hero pitch and a massive bag to match, he couldn't say no. Now back at the U, he's trying to resurrect the sleeping giant, but let's keep it a buck. So far it's been rocky. 5-7 in year 1 with some brutal losses. Year 2 was better, 7-6 with the bowling Parrots, but not much juice. The recruiting classes are loaded, but the product on the field still isn't matching the hype. And then there's that Georgia Tech loss in 23, the one where he forgot to kneel the ball, Cristobal. That wasn't just a mistake, it was a meltdown. Then there's 24, where he almost got Miami into the playoffs behind the Heisman candidate in Cam Ward, but fell short to Syracuse at the end of the season. Cristobal's got the Saban structure. He can recruit with anybody, but the in-game decision-making, the offensive identity, the actual winning part, still a question mark. If he figures it out, Miami could be a monster again, but until then, he's just a guy who keeps buying 5-star ingredients and burning the dish. Billy Napier was supposed to be Florida's fixer, a Saban disciple with some real receipts in the Sun Belt, walking into Gainesville with that new era energy. But so far, it's been a whole lot of noise and not a lot of wins. Let's run it back. Before the Gators, Napier was building something serious at Louisiana, took over in 2017 and immediately made noise, winning the Sun Belt West in year 1, made a bowl game, and had Cajun fans actually believing again. By 2019, they were preseason division favorites, stacked with all-conference talent. He delivered 11-3 season and smoked Miami of Ohio in the Lending Tree Bowl, and showed he could really build a program from the ground up. He followed that up with another strong season and a First Responder Bowl win in 2020. That resume had him ready for the big leagues. Florida came calling in 2021 trying to hit reset after the Dan Mullen mess. Billy Napier steps in, preaches patience, structure, and culture, all the buzzwords, but once the game started, it kind of got shaky. First 2 seasons, 11-14. That's not just below expectations, that's historically bad. We're talking about the worst win percentage by a Florida coach since the 1940s. And he had 6 home losses in his first 28 games, more than Urban and Spurrier combined in 200 games. That's a crisis. Now 2024 was supposed to be the prove-it year, and in a way it was. The schedule was brutal, probably the most hard schedule in the country, and it opened up with a gut punch loss to Miami at home, giving up 41 points, the most ever in a home opener for Florida. But they turned it around by beating back-to-back teams in LSU and Ole Miss respectively, and they kind of pulled it together. Napier guided them to a 7-5 regular season and capped it off with a dominant 33-8 win over Tulane. And that's where Napier is stuck. He's doing enough to keep his seat from catching fire, but not enough to cool it down. The record's 18-19 as the end of 2024, and Gator fans are impatient. You don't get forever in Gainesville. You get wins, or you get walked. It's still TBD on whether Napier turns the corner, but he's a pure process guy, and Saban's got nothing but respect for him. Look, coaching trees are cool, but Saban's, it's different. It's not just about wins, it's about standards. These guys leave Saban with the blueprint, how to build a program, how to handle pressure, how to win over time. Some followed it to the letter, some took detours, some flamed out, but all of them carried a piece of Saban with them. And with the GOAT finally stepped down, this tree is now the legacy. Whether it's Kirby at Georgia, Sark at Texas, or some assistant we ain't never heard of. The process is gonna live on, long after Nick hanged up the headset. I'm MirzoTheTicket, and I'll see you in the next one.